People who take massive war crime level dumps in public bathrooms but don't flush. Why? Used to work in a small office with 2 separate bathrooms, one on either side of our office space. Each was a tiny room with a toilet and a sink. There was a guy who, without fail, about an hour or 2 after lunch, would decimate one crime scene level mess, with the odor as well, and that odor would waft outward to the nearest cubicle residents, who complained daily. He never flushed, and his excuse was that he'd read how toilets create an aerosol effect when they're flushed, which sends a cloud of mist into the air, and he refused to endure that because who knows who else used that toilet. Which meant someone else got the honor of being sprayed with his leavings. Boss told him he had 2 choices, flush and spray Lysol generously, which truly does little to abate the stench, or use the facilities somewhere else. I'm sorry to say he chose to go to the nearest fast food place instead. To those valiant McDonald's employees, I'm so sorry. You did not deserve that. My office at my old work was directly across from the toilet. There were 6 of us in that building, and it didn't take long to figure out who our terrorist crafter was because she came in at 8 and was in the bathroom by 8:30 without fail. At about 8:40, rolling stink clouds would permeate the complex, my office being hit the worst, but honestly it smelled so bad everyone was near to being poisoned on a daily basis. Paint peeled. Plants withered and died in the wake of the gas cloud. She ate a great deal of fried food and drank nothing but coffee and soda, at least while at work. I took to closing my office door at about 8:20 and took to rolling up a blanket to block the space between the bottom of the door, and it seemed to help at least keep the air breathable without the aid of gas masks. Other tricks we tried were putting a box of matches in each of the offices so we could strike them to cover up the stench, but those got taken away by management. I suppose they feared we'd burn the place down after being blinded by the stench, and dabbing Vicks under our noses. It was truly the worst craps I'd ever smelled, and I don't know why she couldn't retrain her bowels to erupt earlier before she left for work. Her husband probably threatened her with divorce if she didn't find someplace else to poop. Not going to lie, your coworker sounds like pestilence. Jesus. I worked at McDonald's for 2 years in high school, and what I could literally never understand was the people who threw their used toilet paper in the effing trash can next to the toilet. Like Jesus, it's called toilet paper. Infuriating. And then there were the people who decided to just crap on the seats. Full disclosure, I just mopped them bitches. I was not getting within 5 feet of someone else's crap for no measly $8/hour while my managers got paid much more than that to count a till, so I took the mop and mopped the MF toilet, then disinfected it with spray. The mop was easy to clean though. I could just take it to the mop sink and spray that hoe off with an industrial hose and use food-grade disinfectant in a new mop bucket to soak and kill the germs. A friend of mine said that in their country the plumbing was weak, so they grew up throwing used toilet paper in the trash because it would definitely clog the pipes. Still gross, but sometimes at least having a reason for something makes it a little less horrifying. For me, I get confused when there's no paper, and no way in hell they had a ghostie. Edit. I'm guessing there are several names for it. I've always heard them referred to as a ghostie though. You don't know it's a ghostie without paper. They flushed once, the paper washed down but the log didn't. Yip. There's a certain consistency of floater that will just unravel itself from all the toilet paper and hang around for infinite flushes. I have lived with one of those people. Said person would wipe, close the lid and flush. If they were in a hurry they wouldn't both reopening the lid to check. Unravel itself from all the toilet paper. Just imagining someone wrapping it up like a mummy or a Subway. You don't catch each turd carefully in the palm of your hand and then lovingly wrap it up for its journey? Weird. Maybe they wash their ass off in the sink? Well, now I have a fear that someday I'm going to walk into the public restroom and find someone pantsless at the sink. Look, I wouldn't care. I would be understanding if there wasn't any TP or paper towels. Don't make it awkward. But for the love of all things, pray they don't break the sink in the process. Happened to me at a crappy little motorcycle shop in West Sacramento. The sink literally fell off the wall. As a janitor, I'd like to know the answer to this as well. Also, why poop in the urinal? Crapter was full. Merry Christmas. Sometimes there's crap on the outside of the toilet. Edit. Out there, you're Canadian. In here. European. Thank you for the awards. Ah yes, the Letterkenny sketch that's 2.5 minutes long but feels like it's 5 hours long, yet I'll watch it twice in a row to laugh and suffer simultaneously, and I have no idea why. NSFW language. YouTube link. The janitor deserves an Emmy. Feels like you told me that nearly a year ago now. Feels like the janitor suffered from PTSD from the toilet and uriness. Goddamn, how did those 2 minutes actually take 5 hours, because I'm feeling it for real and I'm barely even baked? That's a question for the Hardley boys. I've got a raging clue pointing this way. Just like the mountain, because it's there. To assert dominance. I believe it's called the fight or flight response. Lord knows I booked it out of there. Did you flush? He asked, realizing he might not like the answer. Well, he booked it, hat spinning in midair style and everything. You think he thought to make a flushy? Armchair anthropologist here with a real theory. For homeless people, public restrooms are the only restrooms. Now, not that all homeless are junkies, but for sure there are homeless opioid users. Also, it is a symptom of opioid abuse that you can't crap, but when you do, you birth a behemoth worthy of legend. So you drop a legit log that won't even flush by its sheer length and girth, and you're homeless and high on opioids. Do you have the courtesy to break that guy up and send him on his journey? Now probably not, you got better crap to do. Maybe the homeless opioid addict wasn't being rude but forgot his travel poop knife at home. Oh wait, no, he is homeless, so would definitely have his poop knife on his person. Must just be a pride thing. Hate to drop an impressive behemoth and not have anyone else appreciate it. Us lucky folks with homes and smart devices can just snap a pic and text it to all of our friends, but his only option is to leave it and let it slowly dissolve. This is why you should never get stabbed by a junkie. It's probably his poop knife and you might die. No way I'm karate chopping that down the pipe. Maybe if public restrooms were decent enough to have a poop knife on hand. Or a poop stick. Those are recyclable and compostable. After you use it, throw it back in the woods and get another one. If you don't have dogs, that is. Don't want Rover dropping a used poop stick at your feet to throw for him. Also don't want Rover licking you after carrying around a used poop stick, dog. Is the poop stick a regular occurrence on your household? You seem experienced on the matter. I work at a truck stop and deal with this on multiple occasions, because let's face it, most truck drivers don't have the greatest diets. For the times I have to deal with their porcelain melting nuclear waste, I have an old broken metal broom handle I hammered into a point and made sure to label it for poop knifing purposes only. Holy F, Reddit at both an heirloom poop knife, a wooden poop dog stick, and now a professional poop knifer. What in the flying F? What if it's so large it doesn't flush? Poop knife. Quick military story. I used to be a missile officer in the Air Force. A couple hundred times, 392 to be exact, in the mid-2000s, I went out to remote sites and commanded nuclear missiles, etc. Anyway, those remote sites had underground capsules replete with toilets. Some of those toilets didn't work too well on the solids. So, some of my compatriots developed a poop knife, i.e. a butter knife stolen from the site's kitchen tied/taped to a plunger handle. We used the poop knife for months, maybe years, can't remember exactly. But it cut a lot of crap down to size. Unfortunately, towards the end of my career going to those sites, that effing gross knife disappeared, and it was theorized that it went back into kitchen rotation. If I had to guess, it was a departing officer's way of saying F you to some pretty frustrating, stressful duty. Everybody was wary of every butter knife for months. Nuclear poop knife. Nice. Edit. The nuclear poop knife would obviously need to be subject to rigorous authentication procedures prior to its use, an officer stationed near the president at all times with the codes written on a roll of toilet paper. Other world governments' nuclear programs would need to be constantly monitored to ensure that we didn't have a poop knife gap. And any missing nuclear poop knives would be immediately subject to a broken plunger alert. Edit 2. This isn't the first tale in Reddit lore. Edit 3. Platinum for nuclear poop knife. I am honored and humbled. Web link. Nice. Edit, thanks for the awards. I'm happy it's made people laugh. Just to be safe, I'm never using a butter knife ever again. Stressful duty, I see what you did there. I wonder if he ever knew how famous he was, the good old poop knife man. Me too. I wonder if he brags to his family and friends that he, single-handedly, originated a Reddit classic, TM. Sometimes I think a poop knife is actually useful in these kind of scenarios. Travel poop knife? $1 million idea right there. Maybe a disposable poop knife as well? Cut up to 3 poops with this knife. It can be yours for only 99 cents. Flushable poop knife. Made of actual dried poop. I use the poop to clear the poop. Much better idea than the poop knife/toe knife. Nobody wants a botched toe using a poop knife. No, that's nasty. Traveling with a poop knife? Public toilets need a communal poop knife hanging above every toilet. The poop knife of Damocles. I don't think I will never not upvote whenever I see this term. I really do suspect this is an issue. If you take a massive dump and think the toilet is going to overflow if you try and flush, I suppose the best recourse for the dump taker is just to leave. As someone who used to use heroin, I can tell you, my friend, this is true. You don't go for sometimes weeks, if you're using hard. So when it comes, in a public bathroom because you're homeless, it's dangerous. It's rock hard, and 2x 3x wider than your butthole. You scream and cry, feel violated. Eventually you have start breaking it apart with your fingers, just to get it started. Then grab onto the handicap rail and scream and push while this literal rock log, with the exact impression of your intestines, because it's been in there so long, rips out of you. The end of it is covered in blood. You wipe a little blood off, look down in horror at the toilet. You try to flush, it doesn't even move, nor break apart. Sometimes you try and break it up, not leave it for someone. Sometimes you even remove it and throw it away. But sometimes, you're just too horrified, sick, and weak to do anything about it. And you know, someone will always remember it. Damn, that's the most harrowing account of pooping I've ever read. It's a effing great reason to not do heroin though. Ops should give talks at schools. Those kids will never touch heroin after hearing that story. I'm going to tell my kid this poop story to deter him from using drugs. I heard a doctor say diabetes is a disease where your body parts rot and fall off because of too much sugar. I have greatly reduced my sugar intake, plan on continuing with that trend. Horrible stories are a great deterrent, emo. In my dorm freshman year, about every other day there would be a massive brick of turd that couldn't go down the hole. Like it was massive, and firm. If it could go down it would definitely overflow as well. Someone pooped in one of the sinks in my freshman dorm. It was a huge log, about 50 kuraks. People tried to get it to go down the sink by soaking it in hot water and body spray. It only made things worse. The janitorial staff wouldn't touch it, to teach us a lesson, I guess. After about 2 weeks, someone finally got some of those yellow dishwashing gloves and relocated Mr. Turd to the toilet, where we said goodbye. Ohio University, James Hall, 3rd floor, 1991. My son complained about how the very carb-heavy meals served by the dorm cafeteria resulted in this. He didn't want to clog the dorm toilet, so he saved his poops for his first class. But he was crafty and pooped in the toilets on the floor below his actual class so nothing could be traced back to him. Can't flush it if it's on the floor, now can I? Fair play. My dude really said check and mate. No, he really said can't flush it if it's on the floor, now can I? Curd your Bing bathroom floor. Well, I mean, you could get a hose. But it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Or he can just stop bitching around and just grab that crap off the floor, eat it, and go on with his life. Don't eat it, you weirdo, shove it back up your ass like a normal person. Sometimes there's crap outside of the toilet. My husband worked at a gym for 12 years. Some unknown member was known among the staff as the mad shitter because he missed the bowl and left it there. Many times over the years. It was a male, or someone who only used the men's locker room, but they never did find out who it was. The gym closed, so maybe the person has moved on to other public restrooms in the greater Philadelphia, Main Line, vicinity. I would ask DH how his day at work was. He'd say crappy. I didn't sell any memberships and the mad shitter struck again. That's all wrong. Everyone knows when someone does this they are to be known as the phantom pooper. We had one at work who would take massive dumps and not flush. There were emails calling them out trying to poop shame them into flushing. Our facilities manager made it his mission to catch the phantom pooper. He would be like, I have it narrowed down to about 5 candidates. I left the building before he or she was unmasked. I wonder if they were ever caught brown-handed. Phantom pooper is correct. But what do you call someone who used to rub their used tampon across the stall walls in the women's bathroom? We had one at our office in my last job. Sometimes, she'd add some poop, too. Just for extra drama, I guess. The deadly duo. Missed opportunity to call them the Mad Shatter. Do you know how crap gets on the outside of the toilet? Some people like to show off. If they wanted to show off, then they should have just put it in a Ziploc bag and passed it around the Arby's. The Waffle House seems like a more appropriate venue. Nah, at Waffle House you have to rip the entire toilet off the bathroom wall and carry it around to show your crap off. Extra points if you take it out of the toilet and throw it at a family of 4. Big dick energy. Big poop energy? They likely didn't have their poop knife. Edit. Thanks for the awards, people. For real though, I'm just enjoying that I got to make some people laugh a little. Surely everyone dropping war crime level dukes in public are used to carrying their portable poop knives with them at all times. You don't hear dropping a deuce called a duke much these days. Thanks for bringing it back. Them Duke boys is shattered again. I wear sandals so I can just push it down with my foot. Toilet. Reading this made me visualize that and cringe. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.